we saw it earlier on today in your race. All the guys that have now bumped up in terms of their times that they're allowed and allocated for each class move directly into the next class.
Yeah, so, change of rule, there's absolutely no, forgiveness for moving outside of that little range. And we're just seeing improvement on improvement on improvement. It's fantastic to see the guys see the new challenge, rise to the occasion, and bring in more and more pace out of these race cars. We're fostering a fantastic little racing series over here, and that's what we're seeing the likes of Mr. Leighton joining us, and then going into the M2 DTM Cup and training with this BMW race series. Yeah,
Leighton Free is definitely a man to watch out for in his future career as a saloon car driver, possibly going to go the same route as the Van der Lindes. I know a couple of other drivers have also gone that route for this season, and we look forward to seeing what they do on the international fields. But right now, it's A, B, and C about to go at it. Now, in the first round, we had a bit of a change-up in terms of how things were going to run in the classes. They've gone and swapped it all around again.
Now, let's see how this goes again. I mean, cars making changes, everybody, adjusting to the new specs. Let's see who's bringing this to the round 2 in our Extreme Racing Series.
Sure, German up in a second already. So he's not holding back, already ahead of Nick Backris, and Renier Smith, I think, also tried to follow him through there. So there's a good possibility that Nick might have lost out 2 positions. Have a look and see. No, not quite. Yes, indeed, he has. He's lost out 2. So they're heading to turn 4. Renier Smith putting the pressure on. I see Sam Gutierrez jumping into Salvi's car this weekend.
That's right, in that red rocket. Saw a little nice move from Alan Hennigan, taking the inside line there, moving up the space.
Nice to see that into turn 2, and also, and then of course cementing it through 3 and 4 makes it stick. But right now, there's a big move on here from the German. I don't know if the German's got the pace that Leon's got out front. So Leon can kind of just control things, but a big factor we need to mention up front is that there are only 2 Class A competitors. So how does that affect his ability to score points? Does he score maximums, or is there like a handicapping of those points depending on how many cars are in each category?
Yeah, unfortunately we do have a minimum number of 3 in the category in order to score full points, so there will be a reduction in the number of points in that category. I stand to be corrected, but that's my understanding right now. So unfortunately that Class A is going to be a reduced point scoring event today, but Class B is certainly fully populated there, and we're going to see some big battles going on.
Sure, and very populated. I mean, we've got 21 cars on track here between the 3 classes. 2 of them come out of Class A, so 19 for Class B and C. And at this point in time, a big move on the cards here, and starting to pull away ever so slightly there is the German.
Pulling a nice little gap over there, and that's early into the race. I wonder if that's going to be, kept together, or we're going to see Renier and the rest of the Class B guys, specifically Nick, trying to hunt that position back down.
I think Nick will try and keep him honest if he can. Renier is there, Fabio Fedetto as well. Fedetto just got a bit of manoeuvring to do there to keep out the manoeuvres from Renier Smith. Behind that, we saw Sav. And of course, then we see a nice little fight here too. Super, always see Oz, Benny, Hyde, and maybe even Jaco Storm Senior. I mean, he's a little bit ahead at the moment, but it's a 4-way fight.
We've got the Class C guys really following nice and closely over here. So we've got Benny Late leading that crew over there, Hein van der Merwe right behind him, and they're right behind that Class B battle. So I wonder if we're going to see some tangling between Class B, Oz Bagioni, and Jaco Storm, and whether Benny and Hein are going to get involved there.
Well, here they come. They're just behind this fight we're watching coming through turn 2. And as they come through turn 2 there, the red rock. Oh, there you go. You just putting the commentator's curse on them there. I'm not going to say anything. That was all Nick, okay? Oh, one of the red cars getting set by the wayside. I think that might have been Jaco.
It looks like Jaco Storm's LTR race car over there. So it looks like he didn't go too far off. So I'm hoping he's going to be able to recover that, get back on track.
Just in the background, no, that might have been Hilligen. So I think that might have been Hilligen's car that we saw in the background. We'll keep an eye on whether we get Storm back on track, but didn't quite go according to plan there for him. Now as they come up to the top of the hill once again, here we go.
Big pressure from Sam.
Massive pressure onto the back end here. Looking for a way through there on Smith, but Smith soaking it up nicely.
But he's going to have to find a way to get past that Class A car over there. Fabio keeping him nice and honest over there, but if he doesn't get past Sam, he's going to look for some moves to get past him.
And Sam's not an easy man to have behind you. That I can tell you. And,
he's got a couple of laps under his belt. The man knows how to race.
And I think he's actually got the ability to sort of do adjustments to the car while he's driving. That's the kind of driver he is.
One hand on the laptop, one hand on the steering wheel.
Exactly. Yeah, just turn that up a little bit. Enter. Kind of what we have to do in the studio here. People can see what we have to do in the studio to try and keep timing monitors and cell phones and laptops and iPads going, so you can bring the commentary we do. Yeah, it's fun. And
just there on our screen, we had Reynard Miller. So Reynard almost won the championship last year, beaten by Leon Loubser. He's in his new E36 M3 Turbo, and he's chasing down, I believe it, Class C over there, doing very nicely. So he was behind Gary Martins in that incredible diesel-powered M2 race car.
Now, you said you were looking forward to seeing what Gary Martins could do in that diesel-powered car. He's had like 1.5 seasons to develop that car and make sure that it does the job. It certainly looks like it's performing well. It's one of the only, I think possibly even the only diesel car racing in South Africa at the moment.
I think that's right. I mean, this is not the only racing that Gary's doing. So Gary's at the Hill Climb events, and he's really putting the portfolio into that M2 race car. So with that 50D racing motor, I think this is possibly his best qualifying to date, and he's keeping it together over here. So incredible performance from that diesel race car, and what a privilege to see that on the racetrack right now.
Yeah, lovely. But the big black smoke's always the one that all of the tree huggers go, hang on a second, that ain't right. But needless to say, it is a fantastic battle. Further back there, Cochrane getting involved in a bit of a fight of his own there too, which is good to see. And it's a very good fight, in fact, because we've got about 4 or 5 cars involved in that. Just ahead is Jonesy. Mark Jones, of course, concentrating on BMW M Performance Racing Series this season, not having to worry about Gazoo Racing, so he can put his full attention into the M Performance Racing Series.
Look at that Class C dogfight. I mean, this is deja vu. We talk about it every single time, but incredible racing. We've got 5 cars there, probably split by half a second.
Yeah.
That's Varish Ganpath looking on the inside now, outside of Nick Fisher, and they're being led by Mark Jones over there. We see Troy's probably going to make a move now onto Naidu's car there, but this little 5-car dogfight, incredible racing here. Troy on the inside.
Great move there from
He
Troy.
makes the move stick. And there goes Nick down the inside, and he's going to make it 2 positions past the Nunt there.
I think
And
Anand
is
got
Varish
caught
gonna-
out.
is Varish gonna
Varish
catch
going to go
up
around
there?
his outside, yes. There may be a bit of a problem there, I think, on yeah, definitely.
There we go.
Just running out of some steam there was Anand Naidu. So he's pulling in a pit lane. Big pity to lose him, because it was, as you said, a 5-way fight, turns into a 4-way fight now. Led out at the moment by Mark Jones, but let's see what Jonesy can do to keep out Cochrane. Fisher, of course, the man who had the number 1 plate, now back to his original 28 number, and looking to try and maybe get back at that one. He's going to score maximum points because of the size of the field that's down in Class C. So he wants to try and be up as high as possible, and it looks like Gunpath wants by on him.
Right, I mean, this Class C battle, he's unfortunately put himself really deep into the firing pan, and we're seeing right now that the depth of this Class C battle is incredible. So we've got Benny Late leading the charge up there, just behind Oz Bagioni, with Hein hot on his heels. But what an incredible little battle here with these 4 cars. Let's see if we can see more action from them now.
If we're just going to look and see how things are going, it's Benny Late, Hein van der Merwe, Gary Martins and Reinhard Miller with Nick Naidu and Alan Hilligen. That's your top 5 there. That, of course, is how it stands in Class C. If we go to Class B, it's Andreas Mayer, as we said. Andreas Mayer is the man to catch the German ahead of Nick Macris and Renier Smith. And of course, all on his own sim. Right out front there, Leon Loubser. So no worries really for Leon Loubser. But have a look at the times, dude. 106.8 coming out of Andreas Mayer. Is that a concern?
That is some hot times at the moment. So Nick only seeing 107.3. How's he going to manage it right now? But I mean, we're at lap 6 of 10 right now. So we're just over halfway. There's still a lot to happen, and there's a lot of management that's going to have to go into the rest of the race.
As you see things there as well, heating up. Hein van der Merwe getting down to a 109.74. So that's a decent lap time as well, coming out of the man in second place, trying to close that gap down there on Late. There you can see the man leading out Class C at this stage, Benny Late. Hein van der Merwe, Gary Martins, Reinhard Miller. There's a bit of a gap there between them, about 1.5 to 2 seconds between each of them. So it's kind of spread out a little bit at the front end of Class C, but it's not done just yet. Just take a look at number 2, Reinhard Miller, in that MTech car, slowly but surely get onto the back end there of Gary Martins.
Just waiting for one mistake, and then those guys will pounce. So it may look like they've got a car length or 2 worth of breathing space, but unfortunately that means nothing in a racing situation.
Gary Martins unfortunately has to go and find a bit of extra money as well, because diesel's more expensive than petrol right now.
Just makes racing just that much more expensive, but you know, to have that 007 style smoke screen, I'd take that advantage.
Oh yeah, for sure. This is the other big factor, of course, here, with all the sponsors behind the series, and I mean, I know Paolo mentioned all of them up front in the show. They've stuck with the series, so it's showing that the growth of the series is definitely on the cards. We're expecting a good possibility of a 50-strong or maybe even stronger field at Kyalami, and that's going to be a huge weekend for Extreme Festival, because we combine for the very first time regionals and nationals together.
No, we're going to see a real strong outcome at Kailami without a doubt. Every time we see the kind of entries for a Zwartkops event like this, and we're pulling a 50-plus registration of cars, it's incredible. So can you imagine what kind of number of cars we're going to bring to Kailami? So that's going to be a real feat. Really, you can't miss that race.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to miss that one. Remember, guys, that is happening on the 11th to the 13th of April. It's the second round of the regionals. It's the second round of the nationals. And we go to the home of motorsport in South Africa, Kailami Grand Prix Circuit, as we're heading down in towards the closing stages here for Leon Loubser. He's in the traffic, but I think with that fast developments BMW, he can take his time and spot the opportunities, not maybe risk anything too much, because he knows he's got quite a big advantage over Fabio, the only other Class A competitor out there, and I think he's about to start his final lap.
There's a leader coming through there, and I see there's a really tight battle happening there between Barish and Mark Jones. Barish trying to put a move on the inside, Mark trying to get away with the blue flags being waved right now, but these are these big opportunities. You've got the leader coming through, and you have these small chances where if your opponent doesn't take the right line and maintains the pace. Oh, what's happened there? Troy Cochrane off in the sand. Is that corner 5?
Yeah, top of the hill at turn 5 there, unfortunately, there for Troy Cochrane in the Arrow car. Arrow BMW parked on the sideline. I'm not quite sure if that was on his own or not. We'll have to wait and see and find out that. Maybe you can get information and bring it to us on the next one. But heading up to the top of the hill now for the last time. Yellow flags waving just to warn the drivers that there is a car stricken on the outside of turn 5. So Leon will know that. He's overtaken the car ahead of him. That was Fisher before he got to the yellow flag, so it won't be deemed as an overtake under yellow there. He already got that job done. But here we go. Loubser down to the line, coming to the flag for the first victory of 2024. Starting his season basically where he ended.
Yeah, led the race really elegantly, maintained the pace, and he looks like he just got through the field with absolute class. This is exactly what we expect from our championship winner from last year, and a great win for him now in this second round.
Good win here as well for Andreas. He's going to be happy with the performance of this car, particularly getting down to a 106.8. Remember the change up, we mentioned it at the first round at the Passion for Speed Festival. This is now a 2-litre turbo, correct?
That's right.
A 2-litre turbo, not the normally aspirated original engine that came out of that touring car. But needless to say, that turbo engine and him are gelling well right now. 108 is his last lap, and a 106.8 is his fastest. He beats out Nick Macris, and is it going to be Renier to the line? Just. Renier beats out Sam Gutteri and Osbadgioni. Benny Lake still going to be hanging on here for possibilities of Class C. Yeah, easily done in the end. He's pulled a decent enough margin, and I don't think Hein had an answer, although Hein was quickest in the heat. So if Hein can find that pace and keep it consistent, watch out in race number 2.
Yeah, race 2, we've got that reverse grid. You've got to do it all over again. So winning over here, unfortunately, that's going to put you in position 5. So you'll start that race from the 5th position, and you have to make your way through if you want to take those double honours and win both races.
Just gives you a little bit more of a challenge, doesn't it? So there we have it. Leon Loubser, Andreas Mayer and Nick Macris. That's your top 3 overall, but it's Loubser ahead of Fabio Fedetta, down in 5th place for Class A. Andreas Mayer beats out Macris and Rhea Smith for Class B. And we get down to Benny Late in 8th place, beating out Hein van der Merwe and Gary Martins for Class C. Once again, Nick, thanks so much for joining me in commentary, buddy. Good luck with the second race, and we'll see you for race 2 at the very end of the day. Last one.
Awesome. Thanks, Greg.
Awesome,
see you later.
Thank you. We'll be back shortly with action from Paybar, Volkswagen Challenge Class A and C, heat number 2.